Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this NBA channel. So let's get straight into it. Talking to Queen Teeth, talking goes like FIFA, confidence might demean. I've been holding this video back for a little while now, and I figured this would be the perfect time to release it, since the NBA regular season is officially over. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be breaking down which team should draft who, while considering the position they are in need of. And I'm also going to be talking about some of the prospects as well. Okay, so I'm just letting y'all know I'm only going to be covering the top 10 NBA draft picks, because I can't cover the whole first round. That is extremely dead. If I was to do that, this video might actually be 3 months long. This is how the draft board would look like if everything went according to plan, which rarely ever happens. And yeah, these are the draft odds as in the making of this video. Okay, so more than likely the Phoenix Suns will land the first pick in the NBA draft, since they have the worst record in the NBA. The Phoenix Suns these last few years have been consistently getting screwed in the lottery. So hopefully this year they get the much needed and deserved #1 overall pick. So if we take a look at this Phoenix Suns roster, they're one piece away from taking off. They got great young talent like Devin Booker, who's already a star. They also got Darren Jackson, who is super slept on, and he has the potential to be a real superstar in the NBA. And they also got TJ Warren, who's having a pretty solid NBA season as well. But after these players, there ain't none much to get hyped about for this Phoenix Suns team. The Suns have two huge holes to fill in their team. The first position that they gotta figure out is their point guard position. I don't know if Elfrid Payton is the point guard for the future alongside Devin Booker. He don't really play defense, and that's what D-Book needs from his starting point guard. So there's that, and the Suns also have a problem with their starting center spot. They got Tyson Chandler. He's not a bad player and all that, but he's kinda too old, and he cannot ride with this team for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And the Suns also have Dragon Bender and Alex Len, but honestly nobody knows how Dragon Bender is gonna turn out these next few years. And Alex Len, I don't think he can ever be a starting center in the NBA. But luckily for them, there's a 7'1", 260 center out there who's entering this year's NBA draft. DeAndre Eaton is damn near the perfect modern day center. He's a legit 7'1" big with a nice inside out game, who's really mobile and can score from anywhere on the court. Dude got a silky sweet, no homo, jumper. And he also got a great post game. DeAndre Eaton looks like he'll become one of the best centers in the NBA one day. He got the physical tools, he got the footwork, the shot, the versatility, he got it all. In 1 year with Arizona, he averaged 20 points, 11 boards on 60% shooting from the field. Later towards the future, if DeAndre Eaton isn't at least a top 3 center in the NBA, I'd be shocked and I'd be truly disappointed, because he certainly has the talent to be in the Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns conversation for one of the best players in the NBA. Offensively, DeAndre Eaton is there already, and his impact should be felt day one. But defensively, he has some work to do though. You would expect him to be a defensive martyr by just the look of his physique. The man is built. But he's not. That's not the case. He got some work to do on that end. But as time goes on, I expect this man to at least be an above average defensive player in the NBA. So moving on to the second pick in the NBA draft. The Memphis Grizzlies select Luka Doncic. What? Over Bagley? Oh my god! You idiots! Chill! Some NBA fans don't know anything about this man, Luka Doncic. Luka is nothing to play around with. This dude is the real deal. He's a 6'7" point shooting small forward. Yeah, he's one of those. The dude can play 3 positions on the basketball court. I don't really know what he is. I consider him a shooting guard though. He plays international basketball for Real Madrid, and I think he's the most proven player in this draft. Luka was only 13 years old when he got signed to that professional basketball team, Real Madrid. And at 18 years old, that dude is out there playing real games against grown men. I could go on and on about him and his accomplishments, but let's just get straight into what he does on the court. This dude has a complete offensive game. He can finish in the paint, he has a great mid-range game, and he can also shoot. But what really puts this dude over the top is his passing vision. Dude is a genius with the rock. It's almost like the game is in slow motion for him. He's always under control and he paces himself. And his passing vision and ability allows him to facilitate an offense at a high level. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies have 2 huge holes in their starting lineup: the power forward and the small forward spot. To be honest, I really don't know who the hell is the starting small forward for the Memphis Grizzlies. And I know the NBA really well, so that's a terrible sign. But anyways, yeah, I think the Memphis Grizzlies should take Luka Doncic. He'll help assist Mike Conley and Marc Gasol with his scoring and playmaking abilities. We all know the Memphis Grizzlies have been struggling offensively for these last several years. They've had it kind of rough, and they've had a slow play style at that end of the floor. And drafting Doncic almost immediately makes their offense much better than before. Okay, so on to the third pick in the NBA draft. The Dallas Mavericks select Darren Jackson Jr. Now for this part of the video, I'm gonna let one of my supporters, y'all, give his opinion on who the Dallas Mavericks should draft. Now this dude right here is a die-hard Mavericks fan, and trust me, he knows his stuff. And he goes by the name of Max, and he says Darren Jackson has some girth already, but could probably add a little bit more. And he has a similar frame to Anthony Davis. He's really mobile for a big and should have no problem running up and down the floor, but not necessarily for some elite athlete. He has bloomed late physically, and therefore he should have more in store as he matures. Kind of like how Giannis has changed physically since he was drafted. Darren has proven ability to shoot threes from the NBA range. He has an above average touch and is an upper tier offensive rebounder. He also has elite rim protecting instincts and range. And he's able to move quickly to the ball and knows where he needs to be to contest the shot. His lateral quickness allows him to close out shifty ball handlers at the 4 spot in the NBA. Now, question for him is, can he defend the rim without fouling? In college, he consistently got into foul trouble. While that could be ironed out in the NBA, that's still not a good look, and that caused his minutes to be reduced in college. Another question for him is, can he be an effective playmaker? He has shown plenty of interesting flashes with the ball and in the passing game. Yet he also turns the ball over often for a big man. Overall, man, Darren Jackson has shown flashes of him being able to flourish as a versatile 5 in today's NBA. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense why the Mavericks would want to draft that man, Darren Jackson. That dude is gonna be really special one day. And if you have to ask me, I think that man might be the second best player out of this draft. Alright, so on to the 4th pick in the NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks. Hey, yo. What's up? You eating on my bed? I'm watching you. But you're eating on my bed too, though. Oh, yeah? Never mind, man. But just shut up while I'm making this video. Okay, so if y'all didn't know already, I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan. So that means I've dealt with a lot of pain in my sports life before. Atlanta's probably known to be the most mediocre team in the NBA. We are so stale. Atlanta has not had a legit superstar player since like the 80s, the 90s, my guy? What is that, dude? Our best player for these last 8-10 years was actually Al Horford. Oh, fuck. Wow! Oh my god! And he left us. That dude was barely an all-star, and yeah, that's what we had to work with. So as an Atlanta Hawks fan, I truly don't give a damn who we pick. I just want a superstar who don't play point guard, small forward, or power forward, because we're good in those positions. I just want somebody who can be that dude and carry an organization. And with that being said, with the 4th pick in the NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Marvin Bagley. Now, Marvin Bagley has dropped off a little bit in most people's mock draft, but he's still considered one of the best bigs coming out of college this year. He's pretty effective in the post. He has a pretty decent jumper. Dude is a dog on the board. He shows relentless effort, and he also has a pretty solid handle on the ball. Oh yeah, and he's also a great floor runner. So Marvin Bagley does seem like a terrific player to have on your team, but he also has a lot of downsides. For one, he's a tweener, and he really doesn't have a defined position in the NBA. Secondly, he don't play defense. Lastly, he relies on athleticism more than skill, and that's not a good sign if you're looking to come and play in the NBA. That's gonna be a huge problem for him. But like I said, man, I just want a superstar. But to be honest, personally, I don't know if Bagley can be that. But I believe if Atlanta has a chance to, and DeAndre Eaton and Darren Jackson has gone off the boards, they're most likely gonna take Marvin Bagley. With the 5th pick in the NBA draft, the Orlando Tragic select Trey Young. Alright, look y'all, most of you guys should already know how I feel about the Orlando Magic. I believe they've had the worst front office in the NBA for the past several years. Most of the guys up there in their front office are idiots. So with that being said, yeah, I think they go ahead and decide to draft Trey Young, since they decided to trade away their starting point guard Elfrid Payton earlier this year. By the way, I wasn't throwing any shade at that boy Trey Young. He's gonna be a great NBA player, and hopefully he can help turn around that garbage organization, the Orlando Magic, because right now they need all the help they can get. With the 6th pick in the NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Michael Porter Jr. So the Sacramento Kings have started a pretty strong rebuild, and they got a good core of guys to roll with for the future. But none of them really, excluding De'Aaron Fox and Bogdan Bogdanovic, have star potential. And by drafting Michael Porter Jr., that kind of solidifies their young core of guys. Michael is a 6'10" forward from Missouri. And here's what our friend Max also had to say about him. He's extremely agile with plus explosiveness, and he leaps with ease. He's able to draw fouls in big space or float past players with long strides. Michael Porter Jr. has primary scorer written all over him due to his impressive combo forward size, agility, shooting, and coordination. His high release with elevation in his jumper is a good touch, and is even better with his arc. He has a 9-foot standing reach, and he's also a pretty alright rebounder. Young. So at times he could play the power forward position. So yeah, Michael Porter is an outstanding offensive talent, and he'd be a terrific fit alongside De'Aaron Fox. And I can honestly see Michael Porter Jr. being the primary scorer for this team for a very long time. With the 7th overall pick, the Chicago Bulls selects Michael Bridges. Bridges has stayed in college for the last 3 years, and he's proven that he has the ability to be more than a solid 3-and-D player in the NBA. And that's what the Chicago Bulls really could use next to Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen. Currently, the Chicago Bulls don't have a starting small forward to roll with. And pretty soon, they're also going to need a starting center as well. But as we speak right now, the Chicago Bulls are in absolute dire need for a small forward. Bridges' frame and lateral movement makes him a very valuable defender at 6'7". And his athleticism offers him a chance at being a major threat on the fast break. So Bridges on the Bulls makes perfect sense. He can shoot, he can run, and he can defend. With the 8th pick in the NBA draft, the New York Knicks select Moe Bamba. The New York Knicks currently have a okay core of guys surrounding Kristaps Porzingis. Frank Ntilikina looks pretty promising. Trey Burke looks pretty good as well. He's gonna be a stud. But after that, the Knicks really don't have that much to offer around Kristaps Porzingis. It sucks that they might have a late lottery pick because they're in desperate need of talent right now. And the best player currently for them, I believe, would be Moe Bamba. Moe is a 7-foot freakish center with nearly an 8-foot wingspan, and he's mainly known for his defense and rebounding ability. That is something the Knicks absolutely need paired up alongside Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps is a good defender already, but he needs a solid big man right next to him that can hold things down in the paint and block shots and rebounds. In college, Moe Bamba averaged double-digit rebounds, and he nearly blocked 4 shots per game. Bamba has the potential to be the best defender out of this draft, and he's everything that Kristaps Porzingis needs. Plus, on top of his elite defense, he even got a little jump shot on him too. He's shown potential to become a 3-point shooter one day. So I believe the Knicks probably should draft Mohamed Bamba. Their current center, Enes Kanter, is really good on the offensive end, but defensively, he can't do none. And if the Knicks want to win, they gotta have a defensive-minded center alongside Kristaps Porzingis. And I don't think Enes Kanter is the right center to roll with. So on to the 9th draft pick. The Cleveland Cavaliers might end up trading it, or they actually might keep it and draft some young player. And with that being said, with the 9th pick in the NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Wendell Carter Jr. Now, I think Wendell is one of the more slept-on bigs in this draft. He's a 6'10" heavy-set center with a good overall game, and he's arguably the most well-rounded big out of the draft. He's a high IQ defender, he's a great rebounder, and he's shown potential to guard the perimeter. And he's also a pretty good playmaker and passer for some reason as well. So he can become the Cavs' much needed center and defensive presence in the paint that they need. So on to the next and last pick in this video. Philadelphia 76ers with the 10th pick select, I don't know.
My 3rd day out here,
I'm not kidding. I actually don't know who the 76ers would pick. Those guys are set at every position. You know, I would have the 76ers taking that Michael Bridges guy, but he's already gone. You could end up drafting Colin Sexton, Miles Bridges, Robert Williams, or even that Zari Smith dude. But to be 100% honest, those guys really don't fit what the 76ers need. So yeah, this is the end of this mock draft video. Things are for surely changed, and I'm pretty sure this won't be the order when it comes to draft day. And a whole bunch of things could shift, and trades could happen as well. Some teams are most likely going to get robbed out of their pick, and they're going to get set back a couple spots. Who knows, maybe the Cavs get lucky and land a top 4 pick. It happened before. They got number 1, number 2, number 3 pick, number 4 pick before on accident, so you never know. NBA freaking them. But this is the end of the video, man. Let me know what you guys think. Give this video a like. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll get right with you.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made it free to wait, told my girl